Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we're going to react to this is by Secret Base. They just put this out. I've never seen nobody react to their channel. I don't want to take no risk here, so I'm just trying to make sure that I don't end up in a copyright pool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take precaution. I don't want to get in trouble with Secret Base. They put out really good sports content, but nobody reacts to it. I've never seen nobody react to their stuff. And I don't know. I don't think they allow people to react to their stuff. So I'm hoping that's not the case. Because I just got rid of a copyright strike, so hopefully I don't get hit with one again. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't hit a copyright strike with them. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get right into this though. I got it in the copyright form, so that way they can't figure it out. Yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
You and I work at a basket company. We are basket makers. It's our job.
Okay.
We can agree that you make a basket by shooting this ball through this hoop.
Okay.
But who should do that? How should we prepare? What's our design? Which tools should we use? How do we make a basket? I'm not saying there's a right answer to these questions. I'm just saying if we can't agree on an answer, we might have a pretty bad time at work. Beef should not define the shared legacy of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Shaq and Kobe's relationship includes 3 consecutive NBA championships, with plenty of love and celebration shared throughout.
Okay.
They are one of the most successful tandems in sports history. That is their legacy. Everything else is secondary. This is important to Shaq, and it's easy to understand why. Kobe Bryant died in 2020 at the age of 41. One of 9 people killed suddenly when their helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California.
RP to the mama.
Shaq
RP
shared his
Gigi,
mourning
RP
in
to all the
public, profound remembrances of the brother he lost, including a TNT special immediately following the tragedy. On that night, and in subsequent reflections on his relationship with Kobe, Shaq expressed regret but diminished the notion of beef.
People like to talk about the relationship. I'm here to set it straight. It was a big brother relationship, little brother, but the respect was there. After I won my first championship, who's the first guy to jump in arms? When the guy twisted his ankles in the finals and couldn't walk, who was the guy that carried him down the hall? From now on, I don't want to hear about the beef that y'all thought we had.
To the extent that Shaq and Kobe...
That's the first time we ever saw Shaq cry, bro. Shaq ain't never cried. He ain't never showed emotion. That was the first time we ever saw Shaq in a vulnerable state. That's how you know that love is real, bro.
Feuded, O'Neal has characterized it as a rivalry between competitors who respected one another and pushed each other to win. He said the beef was contrived, media bait, and intentional marketing stunt. And whatever it was, it ended. After their 8 years as teammates, once both men had retired from pro basketball, Shaq and Kobe resolved their differences. They reconnected privately for sure, but also for an audience, on television, on podcasts, and on social media. During those years of public reconciliation, Shaq used a key phrase that helps us square his own dismissals with documented history: work beef. Work beef means a few things. For one, it denotes a period of time. That resolution happened after they stopped working together. Bygones were bygones. Look at how Shaq and Kobe in retirement could laugh about a fight they had early in their partnership. They remember the trash talk in detail.
We were playing a pickup game. We was doing a lockout season. We're on opposite teams.
Right.
Trash talking.
Yes.
And you kept saying, yeah, take that little take that little I'm like, I'm looking around. Oh, me.
Yes.
They remember things getting physical, if not evenly matched.
I said, oh, hold on, ain't gonna be too many more of those little,
Yeah, I remember that.
And what you said, well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? And then that's, the next thing I knew, I saw a big hand coming this way. And I remember going this way. And I remember throwing some lollipop
And they remember this as the moment Shaq realized how intense and how brash the young Kobe really was.
We had our first fight, and you looked and said, okay, this is crazy.
I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I said,
You did.
In the hindsight of two champions and Hall of Famers, the fight represents an early sign of the success to come.
I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, he wants this thing. It consumes him. And then from that moment on, I knew we spoke the same language. It doesn't matter if we had disagreements this and the other, our drive to win, like we have to win. There's no other option.
But at the time, that success wasn't a given. Teammates fight each other for a reason. Shaq's preferred phrase applies. Not all sports beef is work beef. Often, animus between athletes takes root in personal, off-the-field stuff. Money, fame, politics, relationships. That's not where Shaq vs. Kobe came from. It eventually spilled into those realms. It got personal. But this beef was, in its foundation, a feud about work, about the right way to practice and play basketball. So I ask again, how do we make a basket? How do we make a basket? In the summer of 1996, Los Angeles Lakers general manager Jerry West developed a literally debilitating obsession with acquiring Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. O'Neal was obvious. Off the court, Shaq had a huge, marketable personality. On the court, the 24-year-old had become perhaps the prototypical NBA center of his era. 7'1" and 300-ish pounds, with churning footwork, quick reflexes, and thunderous finishes, among the NBA's very highest scorers. Shaq's incumbent team, the Orlando Magic, mishandled his free agency negotiations, slow-rolling contract offers to a superstar who wanted to feel valued. The Lakers smelled opportunity. West just needed to clear cap space so he could turn a big offer into a home run offer and get his guy. Bryant was less obvious. The 17-year-old wing had, like Kevin Garnett the year before him, elected to skip college and head straight from high school to the league. As was the case with Garnett, many NBA executives lacked the patience to develop a teenager. West was one of them, until he watched Kobe in person. The Lakers brought Bryant in for a workout as a favor to his agent, Arn Tellem. The workout went well. Suddenly, West had another guy he needed to make a Laker, but LA didn't own a high enough pick in the first round of the '96 draft. What followed was a high-wire act so stressful, so exhausting, that it drove West into the hospital. At least it paid off. With a little subterfuge and a little cajoling, West was able to orchestrate the following. Bryant dropped to the 13th pick, held by the Charlotte Hornets. The Lakers acquired Bryant's rights by trading Charlotte their center, Vlade Divac. Offloading Vlade's salary helped LA boost their offer to O'Neal, who signed days later. So shout out to Vlade Divac. He could have wrecked this whole maneuver by standing firm on his threat to retire instead of reporting to Charlotte. Vlade relented, the deal went through, West got both his guys. Now what? How did this new Lakers roster fit together? Shaq being the prototypical NBA center came with the requisite limitations. The dude was as productive as anyone has ever been inside the paint, but that was basically his range. You didn't need to guard him out here. He didn't shoot jumpers, he didn't dribble or pass from the perimeter.
Okay, this was the 90s, sir. The fuck is you talking about?
Hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a two-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
The fuck is you talking about, bruh? This is the 90s. This is when positions mattered. This is when the center... Damn, my mouse is not visible. But... Okay, so let me break it down for you. So you got the center is in the paint. Your power forward is somewhere wherever the ball handler is to set a screen. Your shooting guard should be at the top of the key if the point guard is where the person is. And your small forward should always be in the corner waiting for the three or to get a good shot, depending on how talented they are. Shaq is supposed to be in the paint. It doesn't matter that you have the guard. There was no center around this time that was out here by the 3-point line, and then there was no center. I mean, some centers were mid-range guys. But none of them in the 90s were 3-point shooters. So I don't get where you're going with this. All the big men played in the paint. So where the fuck is you going with this?
In short, he needed a sidekick, someone to get him the ball. Shaq grew up admiring Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who won championships in LA once the Lakers paired him with Magic Johnson. Those two legends had little in common personality-wise, but they were the perfect combination of world-class scorer and world-class passer. In Orlando, Shaq had handpicked his own version of Magic Johnson. He pushed the team to make a 1993 draft day trade for Penny Hardaway. Penny loved to pass. He was happy to share the ball and the spotlight. They seemed like a young Kareem and Magic for a new era. Disparate personalities, yet ideal complements on the floor. The rare tandem that could get you all the way to the NBA Finals before they turned 24. Orlando squandered that perfect fit, and their loss was the Lakers' gain. But if Shaq was to follow in Kareem's LA footsteps, would he have a Magic? Could anyone play that role the way Penny did in Orlando? The Lakers already employed some legit candidates: rising all-star wing Eddie Jones and speedy dynamo Nick Van Exel. But Shaq understood from the outset that neither would become his co-star. Everyone knew it would be Kobe, especially Kobe. Kobe Bryant was a different kind of teenager. Bryant was already a bigger celebrity in high school than most players are as pros. Skipping college only accelerated that. Kobe had a sneaker deal. He had TV appearances, plural. The kid had a SAG card. The papers covered Kobe's senior prom because his date was Brandy. Bryant came by his fame honestly, by putting the ball in the basket. He was an electrifying athlete and insatiable bucket getter, a shooter and a slasher, a state champion. Envisioning Kobe's potential, people had no qualms using the letters M and J. To be clear, that's M for Michael and J for Jordan. No one saw Kobe becoming a pass-first mega point guard like Magic Johnson, or Penny Hardaway for that matter. If you squinted into the future, you saw a pure scorer. The rare shooting guard who could finish oodles of possessions by himself. Kobe wanted the ball, and his personality as a colleague mirrored his mindset as a player. He was sure the Lakers would be his team someday. So sure so soon that the older, more established O'Neal was like, "Whoa, hey, slow down, Haas." Shaq spoke in his usual playful way about taking Kobe under his wing as a little brother. But Kobe wouldn't be belittled, wouldn't go along with hazing rituals like the other rookies. Kobe had fancied himself a loner since moving to the US from Italy as a child. He kept to himself in the Lakers locker room. He didn't play cards with teammates, he didn't go to the club, he was hyper-focused to the point of aloofness on his game. While Kobe worked behind the scenes, opportunities to develop on the court were scarce at the outset.
Damn.
He had just turned 18 after all. Kobe scavenged for minutes in his first season, buried in Coach Del Harris's rotation. When he did get to play, he shot. A lot. Shot from any angle, shot in any situation. On a per-minute basis, he attempted more field goals than anyone but Shaq. Shaq recalls telling Kobe he was doing too much by himself, throwing off the team's rhythm, only to get shut down repeatedly by a kid 6 years younger than him. Kobe's boldness made for highlights, like this 360 in-game dunk. This is quite a risk for a teenage bench player to take when you could just have 2 points for free. and it made for a few smooth 20-point outings. It got him invited to the dunk contest. It also made for tremendous whoopsies, like his infamous parade of air balls when called into action in a conference semifinal elimination game against the Utah Jazz.
But he understood what
Shaq
the problem
almost
was.
seemed to like Kobe better in a humbling moment like that playoff flameout, praising the rookie for the guts he demonstrated with the season on the line. Kobe appreciated that. But O'Neal later wrote that he wanted to vomit in that moment, and that Kobe had learned the wrong lessons from all that shooting. Shaq had taken to calling Kobe Boy Wonder or Showboat, and everyone could tell these were not compliments. This was Shaq's way, to diffuse tension with jokes, but that tension affected him, and he desperately wanted to resolve it. Because the jokes and the nicknames weren't born from simple envy. You'd hear peeps about Shaq bristling at Kobe's outsized fame, but teammates believed that the basketball of it all mattered most. Shaq just wanted to win, just wanted the championship that eluded him in Orlando. Absent a brotherly relationship, Shaq cared about Kobe only to the extent that the youngster's game would make or break that objective. And it would. Early in the 97-98 season, Kobe's second as a pro, Shaq missed over a month because of injuries. He strained his abdominal muscle and then broke his wrist on a punching bag. Why was he punching a heavy bag during his rehab? A Lakers staff member was basically like, I don't know, man. I didn't tell him to do that. With the usual first option sidelined, Kobe still came off the bench, but seized the opportunity to log more minutes and take more shots. Kobe dropped his first 30 ball against the Mavericks, then put up 33 a couple days later in Chicago, keeping pace with Michael Jordan individually, although very much not in the final score.
Damn.
Because, yeah, the Lakers weren't nearly as good with Kobe running the show solo. When Shaq returned, he wanted Kobe to give him his basketball back. So did his teammates and Coach Harris. Kobe's individual exploits got him a ton of love from fans. He was voted to become an all-star starter alongside Shaq, even though he didn't start for his own team. But Kobe's teammates weren't fans. The individualism didn't please Shaq, especially when those shots stopped falling. Shaq chided teammates for taking off-balance, one-legged jumpers like a bunch of Rex Chapman wannabes. Kobe, for one, wasn't going to stop pulling. Shaq was getting impatient. The Lakers did advance a round further in the 98 playoffs, but that just meant they got crushed by the Jazz in the conference finals instead of the semifinals. Even after that big season, Coach Harris hardly used Kobe against Utah. When Kobe did play, it was ugly, including 7 of 24 shooting in the first 2 games of a miserable sweep. The Lakers weren't making enough baskets, and Shaq was tired of waiting for Kobe to figure it out. But in 1998, everyone had to wait for everything. Negotiations on a new collective bargaining agreement dragged the offseason from the usual summer months all the way into early 1999. During that desolate, locked-out winter, Shaq and Kobe... It was early January 1999. The Southwest College Gymnasium in LA, a popular pickup spot for local pros locked out of their practice facilities. A handful of Lakers were there. Derek Fisher, Corey Blunt, Shaq, and in a rare appearance, Kobe. He usually trained alone, but perhaps had some cabin fever after so many months of work stoppage. They played pickup, 2-on-2. Shaq and Kobe were on opposite teams, and something happened, an altercation. A few weeks later, LA reporters got some details. Apparently, Shaq slapped Kobe. When asked, both parties said it was no big deal. Everyone moved on. In a book released a couple years later, Shaq called his slap a karate push, the kind of thing he'd do to someone he didn't want to hurt. But over time, other people filled in details. In the Kobe biography Showboat, released 17 years after the fight, Derek Fisher said some true feelings came out between Shaq and Kobe, extremely negative ones. He also said only 4 people were there, but Shaq and Kobe themselves use another name in their recollection.
Olden Polynice came and caught, and then they all just kind of broke us apart.
Olden Polynice was a free agent at the time, hoping to join the Lakers once the lockout ended. Here's what he told Jeff Pearlman in 2020. Kobe was playing way too physical for a pickup game. Shaq was calling way too many fouls. Kobe got sick of the calls. Shaq threatened to slap him, and then the trash talk got rather pointed, rather specific. This is my team. No, it's my team. You're not a leader. I will get you traded. And then, yeah, Shaq slapped Kobe. Corey Blunt confirms it. Polynice says Shaq would have killed Kobe, who did not stop mouthing off if he and others didn't step in. Apparently, Shaq's bodyguard, Jerome, was there too. So, again, this isn't to dispute how Shaq and Kobe interpret the fight several decades and 3 championships later. It could have been a bonding experience, a totem of shared determination and mutual respect in the long run. But in 1999, with nothing proven, 0 rings, everything at stake, whether or not Shaq and Kobe said these exact words, whether Shaq hit Kobe with a karate push or a full-force slap, however many witnesses were present, this was a big deal. It was beef. And as much as everyone tried to dismiss the story, the themes of the January 99 fight colored the rest of that year and beyond. Whose team was it? In that lockout-shortened season, Kobe finally became a regular starter and played the most minutes of any Laker. Already hearing whispers that he was a ball hog, Kobe insisted he would keep being aggressive. Teammates' exasperation with his play overwhelmed the locker room at the wrong time. Coach Harris got fired, and interim replacement Kurt Rambis had no idea how to make Kobe fit in. Bryant kept skipping team functions, kept sitting by himself, and kept stonewalling veterans who tried to advise him. Even 37-year-old Derek Harper, the rare Kobe confidant, felt like he could only get so far with the kid. So, one night in Sacramento, Shaq took it upon himself to call a players-only meeting. Everyone aired their frustrations, while Kobe supposedly just sat there in silence. Locker room accusations of selfish play breached containment. Shaq made sure of it. In front of reporters, O'Neal said Kobe was the problem they were too scared to write about, the experiment holding his team back. Kobe sort of shrugged. He and Shaq didn't have a personal problem since, despite everyone else's efforts, they hardly knew each other. It must be on-the-court stuff and, hey, I'm trying. But even when Kobe did play positive team-first basketball, like defending Scottie Pippen in his first career playoff series as a starter, Shaq found a way to say something snide to reporters. Around this time, Magic Johnson took it upon himself to encourage Shaq and Kobe to know each other better. Find harmony off the court, find harmony on it, just like Kareem and I once did. Kobe didn't bite. Right after the Lakers got swept by the Spurs in the second round, he disappeared. Shaq had given up on being friends off the court. And on the court, Kobe wasn't Magic anyway. That summer of '99, Shaq campaigned to get his Magic back, his ideal sidekick. He reconnected with Penny Hardaway, who wanted out of Orlando. Shaq pressed on management to make a trade for Penny and presumably get rid of Kobe, but he got shut down. Penny went elsewhere. The Lakers had a different solution. Coach Rambis wasn't going to cut it. The right man for the job was the guy who had turned the star-stuffed Chicago Bulls into a dynasty. The great puppeteer of egos, the Zen master, the prince of the triangle offense, Phil Jackson. He would make these guys figure it out. Jackson and his retinue of assistants, including Phil's mentor, triangle guru Tex Winter, recall being blown away at the level of animosity they'd walked into. Shaq in particular had no qualms about bad-mouthing Kobe in front of the new coaches. But circumstances vented some of that steam to open the 99-2000 season. Kobe broke his hand and missed the first 15 games of the year.
Playing with his left hand.
The injury was kind of convenient. Kobe's absence gave everyone else an opportunity to get comfortable in Winter and Jackson's triangle offense, with Shaq as the apex. The The Lakers went 11-4 over that Kobe-free stretch and kept right on crushing once Kobe returned, including a 16-game win streak spanning the new millennium. But the moment Kobe held the ball or took shots Shaq didn't like, the big guy griped. Teammates, vets like Ron Harper and Brian Shaw, did their best to settle both parties. The head coach focused on building a bridge to Kobe from Shaq's side of the chasm. Jackson felt more of a connection over there. He gave O'Neal the most encouragement and the most criticism. Winter was among some assistants who tended to side with Kobe, and Tex actually cut film for the sole purpose of trying to prove to Shaq that Kobe was passing more than ever before, which statistically he was. In one of his many books, Phil Jackson recounts a scene that may have been a bit of a turning point for this first chapter of Beef. Right after that 16-game win streak, the Lakers had a little string of ugly losses and unconvincing victories. After one of those two close wins against the Cavaliers, Shaq supposedly announced in front of the whole team that Kobe was playing too selfishly for the Lakers to win. Once again, he ignited a full team debate about the right way to play. This time, however, some guys seemed to side with Kobe, and Kobe spoke up for himself a bit. Whatever was said in that debate, whatever the guys took away from it, something clicked the rest of that season. The Lakers won an astounding 30 of 31 games from February to April, with Shaq leading the way. 67 wins overall made LA one of the best regular season teams in history. On Shaq's 28th birthday, he dropped a career-high 61 points on the Clippers. Look who passed up a clean look to get Shaq over the 60-point hump. And look how gladly Shaq returned the favor before exiting.
Birthday, end of the Kobe. Shaq gets the assist, and Kobe makes a spectacular underneath.
Shaq was league MVP in a landslide. Kobe was more efficient, more team-oriented than ever. Headlines compared the duo sincerely and favorably to Magic and Kareem. At last, Shaq made it back to the finals. LA cemented their Western Conference final victory against the Portland Trail Blazers with, what else, a picture-perfect Kobe to Shaq connection that shook the Staples Center.
Iconic.
Shaq led the way in those 2000 finals, dominating the Indiana Pacers down low. Kobe had his moments too, playing hero late in Game 4 despite a bad ankle. Shaq always reminds people of that season's final scene, the first thing that happened when the clock struck 0 on the long-awaited championship. Shaq and Kobe were together in the locker room, basking in glory. They were together in praise of their coach, the guy who instilled patience and collaboration in teammates who had lacked it. Thanks to Phil, Shaq and Kobe figured out how to make a basket. They did it by basically following Shaq's vision. Ever since the broken hand delayed his debut, Kobe had been a sidekick. He passed more than ever and scored when called upon. Shaq got the ball. He got to be big brother. He got to be finals MVP, and he got his ring. Mission accomplished. Beef presumably over. Time to celebrate. Phil went to Montana to relax. Shaq went to Vegas to party. Kobe stayed in LA. Players who want to become better scorers spend all offseason in the gym putting up shots. They almost always quantify that daily work in the hundreds. 300 shots a day, 400, 500. Every now and then you'll see numbers quoted in the thousands. The offseason after his Lakers won that first championship, this was the number trailing Kobe Bryant. But this isn't the number of shots. This is the number of makes in however many more attempts. Shaq celebrated. Phil relaxed. Kobe, they said, made 2,000 baskets a day, all summer long.
Alrighty, so that was just part 1. I don't know when they gonna drop part 2. But if they ever do drop part 2, we'll react to it. We'll definitely react to it. But yeah, man, it's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. This was really good. This was produced really good. But then again, they make fire content anyway. Yeah, Secret Base makes fire content, bro. I really want to react to their videos, but I never seen nobody react to their videos, and I'm kind of nervous. So hopefully I don't get hit with no copyrights or nothing like that, because this is a really good video. But anyways, I'm just going to about do it for this one. I'll see y'all next video. Till then, peace out.